everyone, I'm Edyta Sitar from Laundry Basket Quilts. Welcome to Quilting Window. I am so thankful you tune in to quilt with me. I'm having so much fun because I'm working on my little quilt from our Little Quilts Club. Are you part of the Little Quilts Club? If not, just go to our website at Laundry Basket Quilts and join in. You will receive a pattern, fabric, and everything you need to make a beautiful little quilt. And this one is our first one. I am so excited for you guys. We are going to be making a little trip around the world. If you ever love making a quilt like this and just didn't want to do a big version of the quilt, this quilt is gonna be perfect for you. Look at this. This is the quilt we're gonna be working on it today. I am super excited about it. Now let's start by just looking what we got. This is the pattern, and the pattern, like I said, only can be purchased through our Little Quilts Club. So many of you receiving this pattern right now. Then we have a little kit. This is the kit. It comes in a cute little pouch. You can decorate your pouch and enjoy for your little notion. But once you open the pouch, you're gonna see a beautiful selection of fabric. Look at this. You're gonna be getting your backings. This is your binding. Then you have your border. All the pieces are marked, so don't cut something wrong. And then you have your main pieces for the center of the quilt. You're gonna take those pieces, you're gonna press them, and then you're going to cut strips following our cutting direction in our beautiful pattern. So once you cut your strips, you're gonna take the strips and you're gonna start lining them out to panels. So this is my strips and I'm gonna line them up to panel. I'm gonna make 4 exact same panels. I'm lining up the color, and you can choose your own colors, or you can follow a picture on the last page in the pattern, and right here, this first row right here would be your color guide. Okay, in the first page right there in your pattern, you have all the fabrics marked. Let me open this up for you guys. All your fabrics marked, and you're gonna have 12 colors. So I'm gonna be using the picture on the back on the last page, and I'm gonna be lining my color. I'm starting with orange, yellow, light, then I'm gonna go for multicolor, then I'm gonna go for purple, and I'm gonna line up 4 exact panels like this. This is my first one. I have to make 3 more. Once you lay all your strips, you're gonna move on into sewing them together using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. I'm gonna start by taking 2 strips, place them right sides together, just like this. You can pin, stitch, and keep going like this till you sew all pieces together, sets of 2, sets of 4. Then as soon as you finish sewing, you're gonna have a panel that looks like this. Now 2 of the panel, the seam allowance will be pushed up towards the orange on the top, and 2 of the panel, the seam allowance gonna be pushed down. Why we doing this? Because we preparing for the next step, where later on we want our seams to lock, so we want our seams to be pushed in opposite direction. So right there, this is my first panel. Then I'm gonna go ahead, grab my panel, fold it in half, match up the raw edges, and stitch beautifully from this end to this end to create a little tube. Let me show you my little tube that it's left over. I'm gonna put the pattern away from what I have been preparing for you guys. This is how it's going to look. Do you see all the seams are sewn together? This was my seam right there, that orange fabric, and I matched it up with the blue and stitched it. Now I'm gonna have 2 tubes like this where the seams are going down and 2 where the seams are going up. From each tube, I'm going to cut sections. I'm gonna follow the directions in the pattern and cut section just like this. Cut, another one, cut, and out of 1 tube, I get 10 sections. 10 of them. How wonderful. Now I'm gonna place them front of me on a little pow right there. So this is where this is going to have to go, because all the seam allowances are going in the same direction. This is up and this is down. Now it's gonna be the fun part where we're gonna be following picture on a page number 2 right here, where we're gonna start laying our quilt, and we're gonna need 19 low strip sets like this, and we're gonna alternate. We're gonna grab one from left and one from the right, so the seam allowances are going opposite direction. Our first seam allowance needs to go up. You can see right here by the arrow right next to it, towards our orange. So I'm gonna go ahead, take this and pull this apart right there. Pull it apart very gently. All right, I have my first strip set. Oh, that is so nice. I'm gonna go ahead and grab a second one from the second pile, and I'm gonna match it up. This time I'm gonna slide my fabric 1 square up. So what I like to do is I open this gently, I match my fabrics. Do you see the color orange? And I'm matching the yellow and light, and I'm gonna slide 1 up, and now I'm gonna open the seam right here above that yellow right there, so that way my colors are moving up. I'm gonna do that for 9 strip set, alternate them and move the color up. My 10th strip is gonna be my middle strip, and then I'm gonna start sliding the colors down. I started this for you guys. Pay attention. Did you notice? I'm gonna do one more with you. Notice it. I take my strip. Do you see? Now I'm taking from my opposite pile because I want my seam to go down. Now I'm gonna to go up. Now I'm gonna go ahead, place my strip like this to match, slide 1 up, and then open it. Okay, later on when you have to slide down, you just slide down and then move your fingers and open. For now we're just going up for 9 strip sets. All right, I'm gonna open this one, lay it down, and let me see how everything is moving. Yep, the seam, I'm just finger pressing, so everything is lining up. I'm gonna make myself a little bit more room because I have 19 to lay. So let's see, we have this done. We're gonna lay another one, look at it, and another one. So that's 5, 6, 7, yes, 8, and now 9. Okay, look at how nice all the colors are shifting. And 10 is gonna be my middle. I mark my 10 with a pin, so that way I know it's in the middle. And now I'm gonna start opening the strips and sliding the colors down and moving towards this side. I already did that, so I'm gonna go ahead, bring that panel closer to you so you see how it looks. This one is already also sewn together to speed up just a little bit for you guys. But notice my blue was the 10, and now I go back to orange and I'm sliding the colors down. Once I have all my strip sets laid out, it's gonna be time to sew. I'm gonna show you how I do that. I'm gonna take 2 strips, place them right sides together, and what I love to do is take my pin and place it just below the seam, because I want the seams to match perfectly. So when I'm stitching, I'm gonna come to the seam, then pull my pin. Sometimes when I pull my pin on the seam, okay, it's a little bit more bulky, and then I come to it and I pull my pin and it shifts it down. When I have my pin just below, it's not as bulky and it looks really nice. Try. I think it's gonna work for you too. So I'm gonna put 1 pin, another one, and then I'm gonna go to my sewing machine and stitch straight down. I'm gonna make sets of 2, then I'm gonna make sets of 4, make 2 sets of 8, add 1 more strip, that 9, and then I'm gonna have that middle and keep going like that to create a full half of my quilt. This is gonna be my top half of my quilt. My next step is going to be to create a bottom half of my quilt, and also to add the sashings between the two halves. And let me show you how I make the sashing. I'm gonna grab some of the leftover strip sets that are sitting right here. I'm gonna pay attention to my colors, and for example, this is my middle strip and it's orange. I want MOA strips like this because look how nice this would work right here. Okay, so what I need to do is I have to have 3 MOA of those. 3, 2 for here and 1 for the bottom middle of my bottom half of my quilt. But for now, let's worry about those 2. So how do I achieve that? I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna take my strip set, I'm gonna find my orange. I'm gonna make sure that everything is laying matching to it. I'm gonna take this seam apart right there, and now I'm gonna match this with this part of my quilt, and I'm gonna count that I have enough squares that I can accommodate slide down of the color. Now I can remove this part right here because it's too long, so I don't need it. Okay, so this is gonna be one side. Then I'm gonna go ahead and I have 3 little pieces that could be an option for my center. I think I like this one for my center. I'm gonna pull him off and set him in a center. Then I'm gonna go ahead and grab this side of the strip right here again, match it up, match, match, match. And you know, I just noticed that that blue that I like is right next to this orange. So guess what? I'm not even gonna use this. I'm gonna pull this to the side, and all that I'm gonna do is break this apart right here, so that way that seam is already sewn together, and all that I have to do is just place it down, and now I have this side. I know my last color is orange, so I have to pull this orange right here, the seam between orange and a blue apart. If your seams are not coming apart, all that you have to do is take your scissors or take a little seam ripper and take them gently apart. That's all that you need to do. But look how quickly the technique is that we can go ahead and make a beautiful strip set. And now all that I will be doing is finish sewing this, then I'm gonna go ahead, sew this to this. This is gonna be my middle strip. Create a second part like this for the bottom of my quilt. Of course, follow the pattern and notice that this is a rotation of this part. So make sure that your strips are lined up the right way, and all that I'm gonna do is sew this to this and the bottom part, and I'm ready, set, go. And I know you guys are super excited to see how this look on a quilt. Let me show you right there. Okay, and what is very important, I want to show you, when I finish my top half, I paid attention to which way the seams were pushed right here. Remember that middle row? Remember right there which way the seams were? So they were pushed this way. So all the seams between my strip sets I pushed towards the outside, because when I sewed this to this, it locked beautifully. So pay attention to it. Once you do that, you have top, you have middle, you have bottom sewn together. Now the last thing that you're going to do is sew your borders. You're gonna pre-cut your border, sew left and a right, top and a bottom, and you are ready, set, go for the next step, what is quilting. We're gonna layer the quilt with backing, bedding, and then quilt top. And now you can either quilt on your machine at home just using a cotton thread, a beautiful needle. You can use a quilting needle or Macrotex needle and just stitch. And I like simple stitches. You can go all the way around through those squares, or you can do a little cross hatch. Less is better. Maybe because there's so many straight line, you want something more whimsical, like little loop-de-loops or maybe little seashells. So choose your quilting designs. I did not choose mine yet, so I have a little bit work to do. As soon as you finish, you're gonna trim it exactly all the 3 layers, backing, bedding, and a quilt top, and add a binding to it. And I am so excited because you're gonna have a beautiful, beautiful little trip around the world. Oh, I am so happy for you guys. So happy quilting. I hope you enjoy it. And I hope you signed up for our Little Quilts Club. Some of our little quilts will be pre-cut for you. Some we're gonna have a fun technique, but all that I can promise you is it's gonna be a special surprise just for you. So please go to our website at laundrybasketquilts.com and sign up for our Little Quilts Club. Thank you and happy quilting.